You are the dog.
Welcome to the DynastyVipers ViperCast. This is episode 17 and Merry Football Eve. We are ready to roll with Thursday Night Football around the corner. But before that happens, we are going to do a little AFC fantasy roster construction here. So we did NFC on Monday. We're going to hit the AFC today. We're bringing back Chase so we can finish what he started, and we're going to keep rolling with good times here. We've got some 5 things that Kelvin's looking at again. So we will get going here. Kelvin, floor is yours.
What is up, guys? Excited about tomorrow. Excited to see. It's honestly a really fun matchup with the Texans and the Chiefs. Like, sometimes we get these duds in the start of the year, and should be a lot of offensive firepower. Kind of excited to see how these offenses look after an off season, and especially a lot of changes there in Houston. So, gosh, a lot to talk about, a lot to look for. And, yeah, Chase, really excited about you joining us here. This is becoming a fun little habit we got ourselves into here.
I like it, man. I like it. Let me know if you can hear my dog chewing on stuff in the background because he just went and grabbed a bone and it's by my feet. So just give me a heads up and I'll get him to stop. But yeah, excited to be in, guys. What's up?
Hey, you know what? We finally made it. We are officially going to see some real-life football.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Do not jinx it.
We are about to see the first Texans win of 2020. Can you imagine that? The first Texans win of 2020 tomorrow night.
I can't with you.
Hot take starting early.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I mean, don't forget, like, they won. Sorry, I think my TV just cut on my bed. Yeah, let me go turn that off, and then I'll get back to you guys. Sorry.
I'm calling it right now. Texans win 32-28. Last year, you got to remember, the Texans were up 24-0 before they completely collapsed on themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Texans here.
How much of that is influenced by your pure hatred of the individual Sammy Watkins?
99%.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
It's my Raiders homerism is coming out full force here in my Texans prediction, right? But in all honesty, there's been a lot of change in Houston. There's been very little change in Kansas City. So that's something I think a lot of teams you got to look forward here is no real camps, no preseason. What teams had chemistry going out of 2019 coming into 2020? The least teams with the least amount of change are probably in a better situation.
So you say that, right? But first off, let's talk about how the Texans actually beat the Chiefs, right, in the regular season, and then we're beating the Chiefs up until, what, the third quarter or so in the playoffs before they stomped back?
Yeah, they were up 24-0, I believe.
But then let's also bring up the fact that Bashaud Breeland is on suspension, and they lost Kendall Fuller to the Washington football team.
I'm telling you, I really do feel like the Texans are going to win this one and shock the world right off the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. And obviously they don't have DeAndre Hopkins, but Desean Watson can still get those first down with his legs. And then I want to see how often – I want to see if David Johnson can get 30 touches or 40 touches or 50 touches this upcoming game. Because we know he's going to want to showboat, his new running back and prove everybody that he was not wrong in that trade. And
we might see that because Brandon Cooks looks like he's probably more questionable than likely going into tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of Kenny Stills, being that guy. So I'm interested. I cannot wait for tomorrow night's game. I cannot wait.
I think this is what we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, 100%. Can I bring up one of Calvin's, topics real quick, but, voice it in my own way? I am interested to see how not only the David Johnson side of things, but how many touches Clyde Edwards-Helaire takes and what that means for fantasy going forward. Because I believe, if you guys haven't heard me talk before, if you had, then you already know my opinion. But what's the floor versus the ceiling for CH? I think he has low ceiling, high floor. I cannot wait for tomorrow night to find out what his role is going to be.
I think that's what a lot of people are expecting too, right? A lot of people.
I think that's another. I'm sorry.
You two are so cute together.
It's like we're married. We're both trying to get
Go
the
ahead.
last word in, right? No, I think we're trying to
Go
see.
ahead,
We want to see how Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be used. I was watching the NFL Network here today, and it was Kyle Brandt was talking about the only clip we have of Clyde Edwards-Helaire is catching a punt in practice. We want to see how his game transitions in the National Football League. I don't see. Obviously, it's not a speed game. He's not a speedster by any stretch, but he's elusive as they come, and he can make you miss in small areas and still pick up 10, 15 yards in a single shot. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use him with the Chiefs with that offense that can stretch the field the way it does.
The guy he always reminded me of here in Baton Rouge was I just kept thinking about Bruce Jones-Drew, and that was once I had that thought, I couldn't unsee it when I would watch him run. And he's built very similarly, catches the ball very well, very hard to tackle, thighs the size of tree trunks. And I think it's really interesting. You talk about having a new toy like David Johnson that Bill O'Brien wants to show off. Well, we've got another one in KC, just like you're talking about, in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And how much does Andy Reid want to show off that new toy? Like you said, Dingus, we haven't seen very much of him. So this is an unveiling unlike we've ever seen in any previous offseason before. And it'd be really interesting to see in some alternate universe where we had 4 preseason games, who would we be higher on right now? Is the lack of preseason games saving us from ourselves where we don't get too hyped up on these preseason hype guys? Or is the lack of preseason actually hurting us where we're going to learn a little bit in these next few weeks where we would have been learning those things during the middle of the preseason? And how does that go into our roster construction, how active we are on waivers, trades, things like that? Are we patient? There's a lot of really critical things as fantasy owners we've never really had to deal with before, starting right now.
And I just want to do a little bit of a promotion here for the Dynasty Vipers. Brad Martz, who's been working behind the scenes. If you don't know who Brad Martz is, it's B Martzy. They're on the Twitter machine. He's been giving us a new look on our Viper website, which sounds like it'll be ready in about 24 to 48 hours. Calvin, he's got the link in our page there. You might want to check it out. It's a very clean look compared to what the previous one was. We're making the move from Wix to WordPress, so we're catching up with the rest of the world on that kind of stuff. He's cleaned it up. It looks fantastic. I got to say that right now. And I'm not just being a homer when it comes to this. So definitely want to check that out in the next 48 hours, see what we got going on over there. So, but without further ado, no one came here for me to talk about the new launching of the website. They want to come and listen to our AFC predictions or our rosters as we go. And we will start, obviously, where everyone wants to go, and that's the AFC East. What's up, Chase?
Can we, real quick, just talk about who won the NFC last week? Or, I'm sorry, not last week, but Monday.
So the NFC, we talked about it. We ended up pitting the NFC East with the NFC South. And the way this roster construction was set up, 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, and then we each gave a sleeper on this. The only kicker to this was each team in the division had to be represented in the picks. So it came down to Prescott, Barkley, McLaren, Ertz, and Elliott versus Breeze, McCaffrey, Godwin, Hurst, and Thomas. And all things being equal, we ended up giving the advantage to the NFC East pretty much based on the tight end performance there and the fact that, both Elliott and Thomas are sexy in that flex position. But a slight advantage, I think we decided was going with Elliott, having him in the flex.
Yeah, baby. NFC East. I like it. NFC East won
so that's what we
the
got
battle.
to try and build a team in the AFC.
Yeah, we got to try and build a team to beat out that NFC East tonight. Let's do it. I'm ready for the challenge.
It's going to be interesting. That NFC East that's a tough one to top. Let's be honest. That's some pretty high-powered players there. When your weakest link is probably Terry McLaurin, that's saying something. So we should see what we can do here. I got faith in the AFC West as being a potential challenge for that division crown.
How many Raiders are going to get on that roster?
we'll probably get one Raider in there. Let's be honest. That's a Chiefs team. But we're going to start just the same way we did last time. We're going to give Calvin the quarterback for the AFC East team. Good luck with this one.
All right. Well, so for me, it's kind of an easy decision. It's going to be Josh Allen. And this is an example of Josh Allen is a better fantasy quarterback than real life quarterback right now. I think it's possible he could develop, but as long as he's chipping in 8-9 touchdowns on the ground a year, you can deal with some of the shortcomings that he's got in the passing game and the limited number of pass attempts he might have. He's a big, strong, tough kid that is going to get a lot of rushing yards. He's built for that. He is now surrounded by the best set of weapons he has had since he's been there. People forget that going into last season, 2018, his top targets included the corpse of Kelvin Benjamin, and he had not much after that. Robert Foster actually became a thing in 2018 with these Bills. 2019 got a little bit better. John Brown was pretty good. And now they've added Stephon Diggs to that mix. Another year in the system for Dawson Knox. So probably more than we need to get into, I guess. Maybe not full analysis on everything. But Josh Allen, for me, he was QB6 last year in fantasy. I'd be surprised if he doesn't finish that high again.
No concern there. Zach Moss faltering some of those touchdowns in the red zone?
Well, the amazing Frank Gore couldn't take him away from him. I'm not sure I'm ready to anoint Zach Moss as being better than the GOAT, Frank Gore, yet.
He could, but his deep ball completion percentage and target premium could actually skyrocket. So, if Stephon Diggs can, do any better than John Brown or even Isaiah McKenzie and Duke Williams and all that at getting open, right? Getting target separation, getting target separation, then you're going to talk about his target premium going through the roof and his opportunity to, get touchdowns outside the red zone going through the roof. So I like Josh Allen. It's a perfect pick. I have no debate whatsoever.
Interesting.
Now, this is the real.
So we're going to move you.
Yeah.
Now,
running
let's
back
be honest.
here.
There's not real competition at the quarterback position. We're talking about Sam Darnold. We're talking about Tua or Fitzpatrick, and we're talking about Cam Newton, maybe the only challenge at that position in that division. So, Chase, over to you for the running back.
All right, so who am I looking at here? Matt Breida. So Michelle, you said he has the hard one. Come on, man. So Michelle, Matt Breida, Damian Harris, James White, Devin Singletary, Zach Moss. God, man. We got Jordan Howard, Le'Veon Bell. Who am I missing? I said James White. Am I missing anybody? Did I hit everybody?
Singletary, Moss.
Yeah.
Frank Gore.
Frank Gore still
Dude,
there.
do I have to pick this? Like, why did I get stuck with this one? Oh, my God. This is terrible. I never thought that it would be this bad.
Well, okay, I'll take the running back here if you take the wide receiver.
I can take the running yeah, go ahead. Take the running back. Let's do it.
Okay, because there's not a single jet worth it on this pick. Anywhere along the board.
Good
There's
point.
not.
Whoa,
So
no. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm going to take Le'Veon Bell at the running back position just because I cannot take Rashard Perryman, Denzel Mims, who may or may not play, as my position. Chris Herndon, I don't even know what Chris Herndon is right now. So right now, Le'Veon Bell is probably the pick of the running back. Your look said it. Your face said it the whole time trying to pick this position.
It sucks.
So
sucks.
I'm taking the best fantasy-relevant jet player possible. And I know Miami's got a receiver we could choose for either the flex or for the wide receiver. I know we could flex Edelman at wide receiver or at flex as well. Like, there's some options elsewhere, but the Jets, I don't see Perryman or Mims being that guy this year. So I'm going to take Le'Veon Bell to represent the running back position.
Real quick. Oh, this is stuck. This is my dog. He is literally a freaking cat. You can't really see him. He is sitting here on the back of my couch. I'm sitting at a bar. I'm sitting on top of a bar right now, and he is literally just staring at me because he wants to go to freaking bed. Instead, I'm here doing this podcast with you guys because I love you guys. Let's freaking kill this. All right. Sorry. I'm back. And I got to fix this. But for me,
I think that's
all right, since I'm going to wide receiver, right? We have a lot of different interesting angles we can go at, as you just mentioned, Matt. So I think, God, man, I actually like Jamison Crowder a lot. So that's why I said no. But I want to go with, who did I have? I'm so sorry. This is terrible radio. I'm going to go ahead and go. I just had somebody in mind. Stephon Diggs. Let's just go with Stephon Diggs. That's probably the best pick overall. I mean, honestly, like I can get creative here, but Stephon Diggs is probably the go-to here. He's not just going to be a deep threat, but he could have some, intermediate route opportunities. So, yeah, what are you guys thinking about this? Because this whole division is just brutal.
I'm not going to argue. I think you can make an argument for Edelman. I think you can make an argument for Preston Williams over Devonte Parker.
Oh, that's who I was going to go with, Preston Williams, actually. I'm not even lying. I was going to go with Preston Williams. I just had a brain fart. Sorry, I was more focused on my dog staring at me. I like Preston Williams a lot. Preston Williams dominated the target share. He crushed it in the red zone, crushed it all over the field while he was still healthy. He was a rookie. He was an undrafted rookie, like up against Devonte Parker. He was beating out Devonte Parker in every metric possible when it came to opportunity on the field. I like Preston Williams way, way, way over Devonte Parker this year. Although Parker could have gained Ryan Fitzpatrick's trust, he still has to face the top corners, including like Tre'Davious White. Did Stephon Gilmore opt out, or is he still in?
Stephon Gilmore, he's still in New England.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted to make sure he didn't opt out because I'm pretty sure he's still in. But yeah, so dude,
in, I think.
you are going with Preston Williams, absolutely 100%.
So Preston Williams is now the pick?
Yeah, Preston Williams over Stephon Diggs.
Nice. I'll put my stamp of approval on that because I'm a big P-Dub fan. Big P-Dub. So now we're going to kick over the tight end position to you. And you got some you basically have to choose either probably a New England Patriot here, or unless we want to go flex. Who you got as the best tight end in that division, though?
Are you on me?
I think the best tight end in the division, I think it's Mike Gesicki. I know that everybody freaked out over the depth chart when it came out a couple days ago. I'm not really freaking out about that at all. If you get a chance, you need to go to playerprofiler.com and just check out the workout metrics from Mike Gesicki. He is an absolute animal. He's a freak. The lowest percentile he scores in on any of those is a 95th percentile speed score. This guy is 6'6", 247. He ran the 40 in 4.54. And over the quarantine, I'll just say I ended up watching a lot of Dolphins games for some reason. The last 5 weeks of the season,
quarantine wasn't bad enough, right? Like quarantine wasn't bad enough. You're watching Bengals, Dolphins games.
Yeah, and honestly, he looked every bit the part, and his numbers backed it up. He actually had a really good end of the year. I just want to get in a quick little – I think y'all are completely wrong about Preston Williams and Devonte Parker. Devonte Parker from week 3 on was the number 4 wide receiver in fantasy. He was amazing. There is outside of health, there's nothing that, in my opinion, is going to hold him back from being a wide receiver 1 this year. Preston Williams was fine. He had his best game was a 24-point game. Outside of that, he hit double digits a couple of times in PPR.
Out of how many games?
Out of 7 games. 8 games.
Okay, what's the snap percentages in those games?
You have to give me a minute.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving you our time. The first game was the only one that had a really low snap percentage, and everything after that was, pretty standard. But the biggest thing that I'm looking at with
third best point outing that first game when he only had 21 offensive snaps. And I know everybody's excited about him. He's coming off an ACL injury. I'm going to go look up where his finish was in the first 9 weeks, but it wasn't very high.
No, it wasn't. But you're talking about an undrafted rookie receiver. Undrafted rookie receiver. Can I repeat that one more time? Undrafted rookie receiver.
Coming off of ACL injury.
I'm telling you, like, dude, this guy, if he's putting up that kind of points as an undrafted rookie receiver in his first year, like we said, rookie's the first year, his sky's the limit.
And Parker did this finally in his, fifth-year breakout season, so I'm not pumping the brakes on Parker here.
He finally got rid of Adam Gase, and that's the issue that we have with a lot of these Jets is Adam Gase. Look, everybody got better when they got rid of Adam Gase. Devonte Parker, Ryan Tannehill, Kenyon Drake, when they shed the Gase nonsense, and he played with his playing time, his snap percentages, all that stuff. He finally got a real opportunity, and look what he did. He was good.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Gase loves his slot guys, which is why I love Jamison Crowder. But I might take a deep dive. This is going to be hell, like literal hell. But I might take a deep dive into Adam Gase and just explore all of the stats with him. I've done it with Shermer. I've done it with Arians. I've done it with multiple different coaches. I don't want to do Adam Gase. Adam Gase, like, I feel like I'm going to come out and be affected myself from this deep dive. Like, I don't want to do it, but I might.
I'm expecting him not to be employed with the NFL for very much longer, so you might be wasting your time.
True story.
So, speaking of deep dive, now we have to dive in. Man, this is weird saying this, but now we're talking about New England. Because we have to take a Patriot here in the flex position. And we got Edelman. We've got maybe Damian Harris is going to miss the first 3 weeks. We've got James White potentially there. Harry is an option. Like, we have to take a Patriot here in our flex position. Who are we leaning towards? For me personally, I'm leaning Edelman, but I'm not liking it.
I like Harry. I like Harry a lot. He profiles very similar to Devin Funchess, who, if he didn't have the injuries that he dealt with and could have developed a little better, like if he had that pedigree, which, by the way, N'Keal Harry has, we could be talking about a – go ahead.
So what you're saying is if Funchess didn't suck, he could be good?
If Funchess developed, Funchess just plateaued right off the bat, right? So, like, as soon as he came in the league, I want to say it was either his rookie or his sophomore year, he kind of plateaued right off the bat, never actually excelled. N'Keal Harry has that pedigree in order to excel and to get to the next level. I'm not saying that N'Keal Harry's going to be the best receiver in the NFL or anything, but he's serviceable. And as a flex option, N'Keal Harry is a good guy to go with.
All right, Calvin, you're the tiebreaker. We got Edelman, we got Harry, unless you're going to throw another one in on us.
No, I mean, I think Harry fits the right profile. I think when you're talking about, and this is a little bit what we talked about on Monday, where does Cam Newton fit into what this Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick offense wants to do? How much of what we saw from him feeding Edelman, feeding James White came from what Tom Brady wanted to do, and how much of that is what they wanted the offense to be? And if they want to create a little bit of a different offense, push the ball further down the field, obviously that plays into N'Keal Harry's hands. And that's definitely the higher upside. I think Edelman, I still expect him to produce and be good. We certainly would trust him more, I would say, even though N'Keal Harry is definitely the more exciting option. If I had to choose between the two, why would I choose the boring Edelman? I'll choose the more exciting N'Keal Harry for sure.
I guess I'm showing my age. I'm going with the safer floor rather than the higher ceiling here, right? So
I don't know what kind of floor he has, to be honest. Like, I really don't. I mean, he's, an undersized guy that struggles getting separation now in his older age. Like, I just don't know if there's a floor there, to be honest. I still don't get me wrong, I still think that he has the upside to be a wide receiver too, but he also has the floor to be, wide receiver 5, right? Am I wrong?
On Harry, I think the potential's there for him.
No, Edelman.
No, yeah, Edelman.
I know. I see what you did there.
See, when you have as many kids as I do, you learn how to do this, right?
God, you're so right. Can we bring your kids on one time? What's up, Will?
We had the Taven here. He was making a cameo here not that long ago. He was waving at Calvin and everything.
Came in here waving at me.
Was that when I was trying to put all my pots and pans away behind me from cooking dinner at freaking 11 o'clock at night?
Possible. So we're gonna punch Harry in there, but now I want to hear a sleeper pick you guys got in the AFC.
Wait,
Go ahead,
Will.
Chase.
Wait, hold on. I got to respond to Will's comment. What do you mean by looking better? Are you talking about from the hot sauce, thing we did, or are you talking about from?
I think he's probably referring to your porno shot that you had going on there from the hot sauce. You're like topless. And
Dude, that was amazing. I was giving the creeper look and freaking Bo screenshot it, all of that. If you guys want to see it, go on to Twitter. It's everywhere. And my face was numb. It was bad. Oh, man. And by the way, I like your Challenger. I used to have the same exact white Challenger myself. Well, maybe not the same exact one, but I used to have a white Challenger too. Anyway, sleeper-wise. Oh, God, man. What about your boys with the Texans now, right? Vincent Smith.
No, he's still with the Jets.
The Jets. He was with the Texans, right?
Yeah, he signed as an undrafted free agent with the Texans, made the 53-man roster, and then he went over to the Jets last year, and now he's on the IR with a core injury, which he's recovering from nicely right now.
Yeah, is he going to play this year? What's going on? Because that whole Jets roster is completely depleted.
Yeah, he has every intention of coming back this year. He said I was talking to him here the other day, and he says his rehab's going well, and that's pretty much where it kind of is right now. So I would expect him back when he's able to get back, and I think he's going to perform extremely well.
All right, so I got my sleepers. Thank you for buying me some time. I do love Vincent Smith. However, I really, really like this Bills build, no alliteration intended. This Bills build. They're doing some things there to surround Josh Allen with talent, and I absolutely love it. So they drafted Gabriel Davis in the 4th round, right? And took Isaiah Hodgins in the 6th. Now, to my knowledge, Isaiah Hodgins didn't get cut, right? He's still on the roster?
Correct.
Dude, he's an absolute red zone monster with back shoulder fades. This guy snags everything out of the air. Go look up Isaiah Hodgins right now, immediately. I'm telling you, well, after this podcast is done, don't interrupt the podcast. Wait, but Isaiah Hodgins can snatch everything, absolutely everything out of the air. He's a monster, and the Bills don't have any kind of red zone targets outside of Dawson Knox, which is a questionable red zone target guy. Now, Gabriel Davis was selected before him, so he might get the opportunity beforehand. But just keep Isaiah Hodgins on the radar. Just keep him on the radar. You guys just watch his snap count and everything. I'm not saying that he's the best sleeper to go with, but keep him on the radar, because if you start seeing red zone targets creep up, one red zone target every other week, then you start seeing every week, then you start seeing 2 red zone targets a week. I'm telling you guys, this guy can probably rack up close to what Foster Moreau did last year, although Foster Moreau's a tight end. You can still see him, get 5 or 6 touchdowns this upcoming year, and you might be able to figure out where you can play him.
Okay, so just a quick little bit here. It sounds like he's going to land him. He's on the IR to start the season here.
Yeah, they're going to utilize the IR like crazy this year, by the way, guys. Real quick update. I don't know if you guys have discussed it in previous podcasts, but IR only lasts 3 weeks this upcoming year versus 6 previously. So I was listening to the Spot Track or Spot. How do you even say that? Spot Rack, the
Sports
salary
Track?
cap. Sports Track, is that what it is? Sorry. Anyways, I was listening to their podcast. Love their podcast. They were talking about how it would be interesting to see teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers put Mike Gesicki, for example, just as an example, on the IR. Because guess what? He's only had a month to practice and get ready for the NFL season with the team. So if they can allow him 3 more weeks because of a sprained pinky, or something along those lines, where it doesn't affect their contract, it could allow them to get in better football shape for guys that haven't had a chance to do that, or guys that might not be, grasping onto the offense, as soon as what they expected. So this IR this year is going to be very, very tricky. Just because somebody's on the IR, don't freak out. Don't go drop them, because they could actually be really the team could be in love with this guy. They just don't know what to expect yet. So give it some time.
So before I get into my sleeper here, I'm just going to hit Will wants to hit us with a little bit IDB question here. Chase Young, what should we expect? You should expect Nick Bosa rookie season type numbers from him. I don't think that's out of the ordinary here. I think Chase Young is going to be very similar to what Nick Bosa did last year. Dude is a freak athlete. Like, the Washington football team has themselves a stud at defensive end. And teams in that NFC there, in the East especially, you got Miles Sanders, you got Elliott, you got Barkley, you got guys who are going to want to run the ball. He's going to see plenty of action there. They're probably going to try and run away from him. The thing is, Chase Young can chase you down from behind.
Did you see that highlight, by the way, of him chasing down Dwayne Haskins? Oh, my God. That closing speed was insane. Right?
Yeah, and
Dwayne Haskins to get rid of it, but it was still crazy.
But teams are going to try and run away from him, scheme away from him, double team him, whatever they got to do. But here's the thing. That front is on. Who do you run away from there?
You're talking about running away from Chase Young, but he's going to run towards Kerrigan and Montez Sweat. No, they're going to run towards him.
This Washington team, this front for Washington may be the best front in the National Football League. You got Sweat, you got Ioannidis, you've got Daron Payne, you've got Allen, you've got Chase Young. That's a 7-man deep rotation here. And it's not just that. Allen can kick inside or outside. You've got Ioannidis inside or outside. Kerrigan's technically a linebacker that you can use as an end. Like, there's so much depth and so much flexibility in that front that it's unbelievable.
With that being said, don't invest in the Washington football team's defense if you are in defense leagues. Like, if you can pick up a defense, don't invest in their team because their secondary is bad. So although you might rack up a few sacks here and there, a couple of interceptions here and there, they're going to be losing in a lot of cases. They're going to have poor field position. So don't go invest in Washington football team's defense overall. However, Will Harris over here says what happens on YouTube should stay on YouTube. You do realize that everything that goes on YouTube pretty much stays on the internet forever, right? I'm just saying.
On YouTube. What
it stays on YouTube.
Stays on YouTube.
But it gets shared to Facebook and to Twitter. God, luckily, I love it.
Nobody watches this show, so it's pretty much stays.
Stop it. This show's a great show. I love this show. I watch it every time it's on.
We're on episode 2 this year.
And I've been on both.
Exactly. So for now, we're going to our sleepers here now. I'm going to go with, because this IR rule is a guy I really like, I'm going rookie here again. I'm going J.J. Taylor out of New England. This is the new James White for the Patriots. I love everything this guy does. Watching his tape out of Arizona, like, I'm talking, this guy is one of my favorite players to watch. He's a little undersized. He's kind of a scat back, but if anyone can get the most out of a player with a unique skill set, it's Bill Belichick, right? So, unfortunately, the one thing Taylor has going against him is he didn't play lacrosse in college or high school that I know of. Because if you know, Bill Belichick's huge on his players that play lacrosse, right? So,
no, I didn't know that. That's news to me. See, I told you about this show. This show's amazing. I find out new stuff every week.
Like Nate Ebner. Nate Ebner is a rugby player, so he used him there as his fullback there forever. So I like J.J. Taylor. He's kind of my dark horse, my sleeper pick in the AFC East. Because now I can't take Vincent Smith because that's way too obvious for me to do because everyone knows Vincent Smith's my boy.
I love Vincent Smith.
The dude has so much potential. Like, I'm telling you, I fell in love with his pro day at South Carolina. He came from Limestone College, and he lit up South Carolina's pro day. And you won't find a more humble guy, a more down-to-earth professional wide receiver than Vincent Smith. And this is a guy who could easily come away with 6 touchdowns in that Jets offense. And there's opportunity there with Perryman, Denzel Mims banged up, and, well, Jamison Crowder is always going to be there, but there's opportunity there. But I'll go with J.J. Taylor for this exercise.
Can I give a huge shout-out to my boy Jamie out there? Jamie's out there just sharing the hell out of this podcast right now. Just giving you guys a heads up. Jamie Prog, he's at Jamie, JamiePerog on Twitter. Cleveland Big Game is what he goes by. So if y'all get a chance to check him out, he's on point. Love this guy.
Hey, any kind of shout-outs we can get, we're more than happy to receive and give. We're very compassionate lovers over here. We give and receive.
Oh man! So who we on to next?
Calvin. We're going to need Calvin. We just wasted.
I'm going to give a sleeper, and then I'm going to give like a deeper sleeper like you guys. I think the running back being taken as the 39th running back overall is a pretty big sleeper this year. That's Matt Breida. He is – I tend to prefer running backs who can catch the ball in the backfield. He certainly showed that he's got the ability to do that last season. He is now operating in an offense that's going to be run by Chan Gailey, he's actually produced some pretty successful running games in the past. He has obviously Jordan Howard in front of him, but Jordan Howard's lack of ability to catch the ball, I think if I consider Miami a team that's going to be let's just say at best, maybe a 500 team, I think that he's going to have opportunities to be on the field more. His snap counts will be up. Therefore, he'll have opportunities out of the backfield to catch the ball. I don't think a lot of those targets are going to go to the wide receiver number 40 overall, weeks 1 to 9 last year, which was Preston Williams. I think a lot of those are going to go to Matt Breida, and he's got deeper sleeper. A guy that I've been stashing on all my taxi squads is Dalton Keene. I know they drafted those 2 tight ends right there in round 3. Yeah, Asiasi, who I like, and he's got the college production behind him, but Keene's athleticism is actually really good. He looks like, and that's something that I look at in tight ends, is their athleticism, their overall. I'll mention it again when we get to the AFC West for my boy out there. But
it's not what I look for tight ends.
So Dalton King is going to play more of like a move tight end / fullback role. He's going to like take over for like Devlin, I think. So I am not big on Keene in fantasy aspects of things. I do love his athleticism, and I actually did a little bit of a deeper dive. I watched like 6 games of each player because I wasn't big on Ossie. I saw his athletic profile, and I was like, who's this guy? I watched him, and he's a receiving tight end, and he's actually really good, and he could actually fit in as the big slot guy, which Mohamed Sanu just vacated that role. So I actually like Asiasi a lot, and although Dalton King is far more athletic, he's going to play more of like a move tight end / fullback type position, unfortunately. So just be a little cautious when investing in Keene.
Yeah,
I love his athletic profile, though. I know exactly what you're talking about. I love it. And he is more athletic by far, but yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you, is that based on what he did in college, or is that based on is that comments that Belichick or McDaniels or any of those guys have made?
So the beat reporters are making that comment from the usage, and they can't say that directly, but they're giving subliminal takes out. And that's what the immediate report was coming after the draft. That's why they were drafted 10 spots apart, because they already have 2 guys that can play tight end there with Matt Lacoste and who's the other guy? I can't remember. But anyways, they still have Asiasi to be the pass catcher in that role. And then Dalton Kane that's what he played in college, by the way. Like he was the tiny guy, and he was great. He was phenomenal in the play action game. If you look at Asiasi versus Dalton Kane, when you go back to watch tape, all of Asiasi's targets were 10 yards downfield, 12 yards downfield, 15 yards downfield. When you watch Dalton King's, they were all out of the backfield. They were all out of the play action fake. They were slip screens. They were, set up for Dalton Keene to gain yards after the catch. So that could be the feature again, but he blocked a lot. He blocked a lot in college out of the fullback and the tight end position. So that's why his stats weren't as, astronomical as a lot of other tight ends. While his athletic profile was phenomenal. So,
and that's part of what stuck out to me is that athletic profile, 6'4", 253. I mean, the guy is he looks like the kind of guy that you would put even, if you were building a Gronk, Aaron Hernandez type offense again, he looks like the guy that would play the Gronk role. And, whether or not that's what they ultimately end up doing, I hear what you're saying. That's why it's a deep sleeper.
The issue was the wingspan. So Dalton Kane's wingspan wasn't great, and he wasn't a great pass catcher because he caught a lot of body catches. If you go back and you watch the film, he's literally grabbing it like this as he catches, passes out of the backfield. He's catching with his body. So yeah, Dalton Keene is not the same type of catcher. So although the athletic profiles are switched, I'm going Asiasi, but I understand exactly where you're coming from. If you don't go back and watch the stupid film of some late tight ends that might not even be eligible after week 5. because they miss a block or whatever the case is. So on to the next division.
Okay, no, it's real touch. We already spent 40 minutes on the worst division of football.
Yeah.
But I'm going to spend a couple more here. One, Ryan Izzo is the number one tight end there right now. Matt Lacoste is holding out because of COVID.
So that's right. That's what it was. Sorry, I messed up.
So now you are looking – and if anyone can find a way to utilize two tight ends in any kind of situation, is Belichick again, right? And I think as fantasy owners, we want this to be a Gronk Hernandez fantasy kind of relevancy between these two. I don't see it as being such yet, but who knows? But if anyone can find a way to make two tight ends coexist, it's Bill Belichick and his offense. Now moving on to the AFC North, where Chase has the quarterback selection, which should be pretty much a no-brainer.
AFC North?
Not Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
no, I can't go Joe Burrow. God, I don't even know who to pick. Ben Roethlisberger, right? I don't know. No, come on. So let's go ahead and go on to the next position. Of course, it's Lamar Jackson.
So while we're doing that, since that seemed like a no-brainer, I'll give you the running back position here.
No, take it. I want to compliment your pick.
Anyway. So compliment your pick. Nice. So you think about this: you got Dobbins, you got Ingram as an option. Not for me. I do like Baltimore's tight end fit here better than anything else. If I'm looking at this, it's down for me. It's basically, how do I want to use this between Chubb and Mixon? I think Mixon's going to lose, or Chubb's going to lose a little bit to Kareem Hunt this year in the passing game, where Mixon will not lose as much. So I think Mixon, if we're talking PPR here, is got to be the selection here because James Conner is a standard running back. Nick Chubb is a standard running back. Kareem Hunt is a PPR running back that's going to get most of the catches. But Joe Mixon combines everything. So Joe Mixon's my running back.
I like it.
Which leaves you the wide receiver here.
Yeah, so some of this, what I would say.
And I got to get this out of the way here. So I don't want to dump on your pick. So be careful who you select here at the wide receiver position.
Really? You're taking the low-hanging fruit right now. Did you just say you don't want to dump on his pick? Oh, my God.
Correct.
Here we go.
Well, I'm not going to go with the number 2 wide receiver in Cleveland. I'm going to go.
Did he just say number 2 wide receiver in Cleveland? What is going on here? What is going on? Why are you guys saying dump on his pick and number 2 wide receiver? I mean, I guess I have to look it up.
It's a real mystery. It's
like that bag that somebody leaves outside, they light on fire of your doorstep.
Something like that. I'm going to go with 23-year-old wide receiver that we were picking in the first round about a year ago, and that's Juju Smith-Schuster. Obviously, there's a lot of other guys in this division that you could potentially go with, and in fact, he's got a teammate that out-targeted him last year that I'd like to talk about a little bit later. But I think when you're looking at, he's 23 years old. Obviously, there's a real connection there with him and Ben Roethlisberger. He had 160 targets 2 years ago when Roethlisberger was there. The only thing he needs is to not have Duck Hodges or Mason Rudolph throwing him passes, and I think he's going to be a star in the NFL. So I'm going to go wide receiver. To me, it's easy. Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's an interesting one there because I'm not a big Juju fan because I think Juju is a solid second option receiver. I think, you heard it. I seen your eyes get all biggy on me. I think Juju complemented Antonio Brown incredibly well. I don't think Juju can be the man. So for Juju to have success, James Washington and Deontay Johnson have to step up in a big way. Because I don't know if he can handle the double teams and stuff that you see top-end receivers get where they have the success. I don't know if Juju's there. Now, Juju's young. He can still learn this. He can still come out. But right now, I don't see him being the man. But if you look at the rest of the wide receivers in this division, Marquise Brown doesn't do nothing for me. OBJ is definitely the number 2 receiver behind Jarvis Landry in Cleveland. I'm not sold on AJ Green or Tyler Boyd, maybe, but Tyler Boyd for me is in that same, maybe a tier below Juju still. Like I think Tyler Boyd
like
is a solid
5 tiers.
No, with AJ Green, Tyler Boyd's skyrockets this year. But again, Tyler Boyd, like Juju, struggles when he's the man. When Tyler Boyd had success, it was with AJ Green. When Juju was most successful, not that he can't find success, it was with Antonio Brown.
Yeah. I want to stomp on this bag of fiery shit at my front doorstep before it gets out of hand. Oh God, pun completely attended. And I'm gonna go with one or two guys. I'm definitely gonna lean the guy that's probably gonna be the shit in the AFC North with Odell Beckham. God, man, can we fill any more of these in there? So in 2018, right? Stefanski wasn't leading the offense, but he was still, an offensive advisor. He was still right there. Like he was pretty much getting ready to start calling the plays. And guess who finished one spot ahead of Juju Smith-Schuster? Adam Thielen, baby. Adam Thielen, the guy that Odell Beckham is playing that role. He was hurt last year, man. He had core surgery in the offseason. He was hurt the entire year. Odell Beckham Jr., although he won't see the volume, should see the efficiency, especially with an increase in play action fakes. I'm not all over Odell Beckham, but I honestly think that he's going to end up finishing out as the best wide receiver, especially with this, just fiery shit type mentality that should be coming in 2020. Got one more in. So I really like Odell Beckham this upcoming year. If not Odell Beckham, then Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Well, I read this. I don't know how true it is, but do you know who Odell Beckham's favorite cartoon character is?
Oh, God.
Go. Just go.
It's the same. It's the same as
Just
Tigger.
go.
It's Winnie the Pooh.
Oh man, just go already. Just shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was late on that.
Whatever you do, just don't lay there and take it. You know what I mean? So you've got the tight end position here.
I can't with you. Oh man, that was a fun segment. That was probably the most fun segment I've ever had on a podcast. Oh, that was good.
So this segment is brought to you by Poop Jokes.
No, it's man wipes or whatever the hell it's called.
We need to get.
Oh yeah.
We need a segment. We need to get a segment and send it out.
Yes.
Oh, was it man wipes? Is that what it's called? Don't include this.
Dude wipes. It's dude wipes.
Dude wipes. Sorry, dude wipes.
Yeah,
God, we need to edit in dude wipes.
And Dave Chappelle was talking him up there, I think, on Twitter the other day. So I think dude wipes may not even know we exist. Let's put it that way.
They definitely know you exist. What are you talking about? Everybody in America.
My biggest worry about Odell Beckham is, like the rumor is over the quarantine. He lives right on the street from a country club, and he spent most of that time like he had all of his kids, and he spent most of that time just taking his kids back and forth to the country club. just dropping his kids off at the pool, almost the entire. And
are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? If you guys, do you guys video edit? Because I'm about to send this whole thing over to one of my buddies that does video editing. Oh my God.
Well, it's always important to drop your kids off at the pool, right? So
it is.
Yeah, exactly. Always.
God, I can't with you guys.
Where in the world are we right now?
I guess you could say it was his. I guess you could say that was his duty.
Dude, sometimes when I'm not myself, I don't feel like I'm myself right now, I like to grab a floating Snickers, A
little Caddyshack.
All right, we're done. That's it. Yeah, Caddyshack reference. Hey, shout out to Corey and Caddyshack.
All right.
So anyway, we're on the tight end position here, Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. Well, obviously, I got to go with the stack of Mark Andrews, right? Is that the only option? Did I overlook somebody?
Yeah, well, you could. We don't have any Browns players yet. Calvin.
Some Browns players. It's not even up. It wasn't even intended. I can't with you guys. No, I like Austin Hooper's not an option for me. Austin Hooper is Kyle Rudolph. Maybe, if he increases targets slightly, it might be a little better, but I don't understand how people are thinking that you can go with our Odell Beckham, you can go with Jarvis Landry, you can go with Kareem Hunt, you can go with Nick Chubb, you can go with Austin Hooper. Like, this offense is not like they're not going to get that many snaps in. You'll have weeks where you can stream Austin Hooper, but no, absolutely not. Mark Andrews is the only answer in this division, and he has a chance to be a tight end 1 this year. He does. He's my number 3 ranked guy. He has a chance to be tight end 1.
Yeah, I think stacking Jackson and Andrews is absolutely the right call here. So I guess that means when we're looking at our flex, we need to look for the number 1 option for the Browns. And who do you feel is that? Do you think that's going to be Chubb? Do you think that's Kareem Hunt? Do you think that's Jarvis Landry, or do you think it's someone else?
I've been pretty stubborn about Nick Chubb, and honestly, that this week with Kareem Hunt signing that extension, it's shaken a little bit. There's a little bit of me that I still think Chubb is the more talented running back out of the two, but clearly, and it didn't look like this way when Stefanski took the job. When he took the job, he had glowing things to say about Nick Chubb, and he kind of said, like, again, Kareem Hunt's here too, but with the organization locking him up, to me, there's been just nothing but like good buzz about him. And so there's a little bit of shaken confidence there, but I do think that Nick Chubb has a really great opportunity in front of him. And one of the things we talked about on Monday was I'm curious to see what Stefanski's offense is going to look like now that he's the head coach. We're out from underneath Zimmer, but I don't expect him to not run the ball. And I think when you've got a better offensive line, when you got now a competent head coach, and you got a guy that's going to – I certainly don't think he's going to be in the top 10 of pass attempts. I expect him to be closer to the bottom 10 of pass attempts, even if he changes a little. So I expect a lot from Nick Chubb. I think that it hurts me a little bit, the Kareem Hunt news, because I was hoping he could develop a little bit as a pass catcher. But, that's still, to me, that's the flex that I would go with here.
So – obviously, we're kind of running behind, right? Because we decided to go off on tangents about, random things or whatever. But real quick, I just want to make a comment about how running back super teams are about to become a thing, just like how super teams became a thing in the NBA. It's going to happen. And although it's for a different reason, they were going for championships, these running backs aren't getting paid enough. There are only 3 running backs in 2020 who are scheduled to make over $10 million. That's last for the position or for positions among NFL, tied with centers, I think, and strong safeties, if I remember correctly. So it's either way, it's tied for last with 3 different positions on offense and defense, not include special teams. So, like, that's not good, especially when you're talking about a guy that's going to touch the ball outside of the center and the quarterback more than any other position on the field. And they're doing the hard work. They're doing way more than what the quarterback has to do when it comes to physical, attributes. That's why their career doesn't last very long. I mean, their career is very, very short-lived, if they even have a career at all. So running back super teams are a thing to look at. And I thought about it right around 2019, halfway through the year, when I saw the 2021 free agent pool along with the 2021 draft and how loaded it is. It's insane. It's stupid how loaded this draft and this free agent pool is. However, once Melvin Gordon signed that contract with the Denver Broncos, knowing that Philip Lindsay was there, knowing that Royce Freeman was there, it became a reality. Then we saw it again, was it today or yesterday, when Nick Chubb when Kareem Hunt signed a contract knowing that Nick Chubb was there. Like, running back super teams are going to become a thing. And the sooner you guys realize that, the better. That the elite running backs that are signing these massive contracts, you guys need to add them onto your rosters, especially in dynasty leagues. Because if not, you're going to be talking about RBVCs with superstars in a year or two from now. So, anyway, where does that leave me? We're on to sleepers.
We're trying to figure out the flex. We're waiting for your flex.
Oh, I thought we went with Nick Chubb. Yeah, Chubb. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm good with Chubb too, just so we can move on to our sleepers here.
Sorry, Matt.
No worries. Here, who do we got for a sleeper here in the division?
DPJ. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
You like the people's champ there?
Yeah, Harem or Njoku to make a surprise leap. Njoku should be the move tight end, while Austin Hooper plays the inline tight end, I think. Austin Hooper's, like I said, it's tough to call in that position. So,
and for me here, I think Deontay Johnson and James Washington talked about too much to the point where they're not really sleepers anymore.
No.
Auden Tate, I think, is not what everyone thinks he's going to be.
Wait, what do people think he's going to be?
Well, he had some good success there, the red zone target. Really, if you ask me, Auden Tate is pretty much a glorified tight end. That's how I view him because of his size and everything. I'm going to go with a dude who had an absolutely sickening profile coming out of Notre Dame last year. And I'm going to go with Miles Boykin, the best receiver in Baltimore.
Great pick. Oh, well, not the best receiver, but great pick as a sleeper. I like Miles Boykin a lot.
Yeah, I'll keep this moving and just say, like, Harrison Bryant, I think there's so much buzz about him in camp. He's almost free right now. Apparently, he's, like, uncoverable. And part of that's what sparked some of these Njoku rumors about him being traded. So, like, I'm really excited. I also think Njoku is pretty talented. I think his wrist hurt him a little bit last year and didn't quite get to break out. He may need a second team to do it because Harrison Bryant looked legit from all reports in camp. I'm excited about him. And I really like Devin Duvernay. I actually like Marquise Brown a lot, but Devin Duvernay just seems like the kind of receiver who that could replace Willie Snead in the offense. And if he is
that card like next to all times,
huh? Oh,
wait,
Duvernay Colin Johnson card that he sleeps with.
Oh God, it's 1 out of 5, man. I got to keep it close to me. It's more important than my credit card or debit card or whatever.
It's probably worth more money than your credit card right now.
It probably is. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man, I spend money on stuff like this right here, which is the stupidest thing ever. God, it looks like I can reach it. I'm actually like 10 yards away. That's crazy.
Actually, you know what? I kind of like that, to be honest with you. I'm good.
It's really funny, right? Like, I can't believe I spent 100 and something, like $70-something on it. But you know, if anybody's listening, it's just a freaking clip from the cartoon with Charlie Brown of him missing a kick.
No, he didn't miss that kick. Lucy was a bitch, and she pulled that ball back.
You know what it is. If you've seen the cartoons, I was just trying to. Yeah, no, she was a bitch for real. Sorry if any of the females are watching. My bad.
Also, I got to get in a little post hype sleeper love for John Ross, who could get some opportunity in Cincinnati. And he actually was really good at the beginning of last year. Dingus hated every time I brought him up, and every time I mentioned him, he hates it with his whole heart, just like he hates Sammy Watkins. But I think John Ross he looked like, again, Zach Taylor came from Los Angeles under Sean McVay. He looked like he was playing the Brandon Cooks role to me. And
he's the next Jerry Rice.
Huh?
He's the next Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
I do love him though. I do love him, and he's already won. I got muted. I got muted.
When we start talking about John Ross, that's like the automatic mute button. I just actually seen that I can do that to people. So power to me.
Jerry Rice. I'm just
kidding.
I'm totally
checking in with us on Football Eve, Kickoff Eve. Nice,
dude. We should do like a podathon type thing, but not the podathon. But that'd be fun. And then we'd all be asleep for the game.
Faster Jerry Rice.
Oh man, I'm just kidding. It's not Jerry Rice, but I do like him.
I made a mistake of taking this week off, and I ended up having to re-grout my kitchen tile.
Oh, gross.
That sucks.
Where'd you reroute it to?
I just
I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I will never do that again. Just like drafting John Ross. It will never happen in this household.
Dude, I dropped John Ross the night before the season last year in my Dynasty League, and I was pissed when I saw him go off 2 weeks in a row.
No, never happening. No, I don't care what you do now. He's in that, like Calvin said. Calvin knows my disdain for Sammy Watkins, and John Ross is right up there.
Yeah,
I can't count on you. I can't trust you. I can't do nothing. Whenever I put you in my lineup, you get hurt. Whenever I don't have you in your lineup, you go for 2 touchdowns and 300 yards. Ain't happening. I'm not going to deal with it. I can't handle it. Look at me. Look at this grade. Look at this. That's John Ross right there.
Well, I know this is a football podcast, but I'm going to look up some divisions and some schedules. And the Braves just scored 29 runs.
Yeah.
What? The second most in MLB since 1900? What? 29 runs? That's nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry, get back to your gray hair, Dingus. I had to make a mental note.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
I'm a
great fan. My 12
I like the Braves too.
Fan too. So yeah, I glad you mentioned that. They did good.
I like it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
All right,
anyway.
All right, so what division are we looking at next?
We are going to move over to the AFC South. Yeah, South is where we're going.
That's the direction you want to go, huh?
And I believe we are on me here for the quarterback selection, which I really want to take Tannehill just for our buddy there, Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood.
I really want to put him in there as the top quarterback, but obviously I can't. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select the NFL 2020 MVP who will lead his team to victory tomorrow night over the Kansas City Chiefs, Desean Watson.
Oh, God.
We've seen these young quarterbacks coming out. We've seen Patrick Mahomes. We've seen Lamar Jackson. It's time for Desean Watson to come out and break it down. He's got weapons across the board now. We're used to him being DeAndre Hopkins and DeAndre Hopkins only and funneling all those targets to him. Now he's got weapons there in Fuller. Hopefully Fuller can stay healthy. Not that Fuller hasn't been there in the past. Brandon Cooks. Kenny Stills is still there. David Johnson, Duke Johnson. But none of them are DeAndre Hopkins. So there's not that feeling where he has to force the ball to Hopkins all the time. He can spread it out. And when he starts to spread that ball out, it's going to open up so many things for this offense. And they've got speed on the outside. They can dink and dunk underneath. They've got Fells as an admirable tight end fill-in. They've got Kahel Warring, an up-and-coming tight end that we all talk about as a potential sleeper. I like what this offense is doing, and I love David Johnson being there. So I'm going to say, obviously, and the other choices here, let's face it, Phillip Rivers and Minshew are not quite in the same breath as Desean Watson here. So obviously it's Watson. I just went on a whole tangent, but
I think Gardner Minshew is going to be one of the most underrated candidates this year in fantasy football because they're going to have to pass. That defense is obliterated. And not that he's a better quarterback. But he could put up more fantasy points because that defense is just so depleted. And they're going to have to, play from behind in the majority of games.
And you got to think, Minshew didn't play a full scale of games last year. And I think he was 5th amongst quarterbacks last year in rushing yards.
Yeah, I love his upside.
Rushing yards are the payday for fantasy quarterbacks.
Yeah, so that would be my argument, but it's really not valid because now you're losing DeAndre Hopkins, who was the bailout for Deshaun Watson on third downs. So now Deshaun Watson could just use his legs instead. It's going to be so much better. It's going to be so much better.
And he can use Randall Cobb. That to me, that was a really underrated signing underrated signing in Houston. And like I get not having DeAndre Hopkins is not good, but I think you can make an argument that the complete cast around him is better than he's had. And I know obviously there's nobody close to DeAndre Hopkins, but the Texans are another team that I watched a lot of their last few weeks, and I think the offense works with Brandon Cooks in there. Now he's obviously not healthy, so you're putting in Fuller, but Randall Cobb is a type of receiver that he's never had. They were hoping Kiki Cutie could be that for him, but obviously that hasn't panned out. Randall Cobb can play that underneath. He can be that bailout type guy that he can go to. And if you think about David Johnson, if we assume for a second that he's not completely washed up, and I know that one gif of him running where he looked terrible in Arizona last year is kind of the most overshared, and I'm not sure that we should draw every conclusion on David Johnson based on that one play. But if he's not, and then he's an option out of the backfield to catch passes, what Lamar Miller, I guess, is maybe the best pass catching running back. Duke Johnson really wasn't utilized enough that way last year for me to put him in that conversation. But I think the offense as a whole could be a lot better. And look, that's not saying a lot. This offense was only the 14th best offense in the league last year. So they were middle of the pack, and I think they have a chance with a new cast of characters to finish better than that.
I'd rather David Johnson not catch passes out of the backfield because that means more running opportunities for Deshaun Watson.
And speaking of running opportunities, who do you got at running back?
Is that to me? Okay, yeah,
that's to you.
Well, we'll save a lot of time. It's Derrick Henry. I think he's been, ever since about a year and a half ago when he really started getting the bulk of the carries, things really changed for him after the bye week in 2018. He's been insane. He looks like a monster. He continues to produce like one. He's more nimble than you think for a guy his size. And, I think he's going to keep carrying the load for that Tennessee Titans backfield.
That's pretty tough. Like, I know you wanted to go David Johnson there. I could see it. But God. I guess when you have – and I personally would have gone with James Robinson at my running back position because I've been all in on James Robinson, and he just went for like $100 in the Scott Fish Bowl. So I'm telling you.
Dude, I got him for 15. I got him for 15.
I know, I seen that. I seen that app that came out, and I was like, he went for like $100 in a couple of Scott Fish Bowls. I'm like, dude. And then I forgot I got Bryce Love for like $15. I'm like, oh yeah, I still had a bid on him. I forgot all about that.
And then the Jacks went out and signed Ngubowale. God.
The Jaguars signed him?
Yeah, the Jaguars got Ngubowale because what's his name is on. They got one. Zigbo is hurt, but then they also have what's his name?
Armstead.
Oh no, yeah. I call Armstead. Yeah.
On COVID. Huh. He's on the COVID list. So nice. Ngubowale is now default running back too. And I'm like, oh my God. Because I love Ngubowale. I don't think he's a phenomenal athlete. His metrics are subpar, but does he know how to play football? Hell yes. I love Ngubowale. And he's great at pass blocking too, so he's going to get plenty of opportunity in that pass blocking role.
And he was a special teams captain. But now we're going to move over to wide receiver. Wide receiver's yours, Chase.
Oh, man. I think I'm going to go with Paris Campbell. No, I'm just kidding. DJ Chark, that's an easy one for me. I know that A.J. Brown is debatable here, but DJ Chark is going to see plenty of passing opportunities, and this defense is terrible at defending the deep ball. I mean, this division is terrible at defending the deep ball. DJ Chark, and it's not really a conversation for me, although I can understand A.J. Brown.
I probably would have leaned A.J. Brown personally, but I don't like DJ Chark.
Why?
Never have, never will.
Why?
Whatever, it is what it is.
You just don't like his name because you had to listen to too much of the Shark song that your kids probably listen to on a regular basis, right?
Do you think Odell Beckham Jr. calls him DJ Shark?
Shark. Oh God, we need help. Why don't you like Shark?
Yes, I've just never been a big probably because he's an LSU guy. That might be the number one reason, to be honest with you.
Because he's out. Wait, what?
He's from LSU, man.
Oh, wait, how does that weigh into your decisions? I'm genuinely curious because I don't. All right, my biggest thing is I don't understand how Shark is falling. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if it was worth it, like, I mean, if he was going at that point, I would take him in the early third round. That's how much I like him. So I don't understand people that are letting him fall to the fifth. You know, even 6 rounds, I saw him fall one time.
Yep.
I don't get it.
He's almost an automatic pick for me in round 5 or 6. And
he's automatic for me in fourth or late fourth, early fifth. He's my God, I'm stoked to get him there.
He's fallen, and it's a very he had 118 targets last year, and that was really just his coming out party. I mean, there's going to be a lot more passing, as you've mentioned. I definitely think that. Now, I would say, if A.J. Brown can somehow repeat what he did with Ryan Tannehill last year, he was the wide receiver 5 once Tannehill took over in week 7. So
PPR is an increase, by the way.
Yeah, but DJ Chark has to repeat what he did last year. Both of them only have 1 year of success.
Yeah, but which one's going to run more? Which one's going to pass more? Which one has to pass? Has to. And I'm not a fan of the efficiency that Tennessee put up. I don't think that's going to repeat. I think that A.J. Brown and Johnny Smith both benefit from this. I love Johnny Smith. That might be a spoiler for my pick for tight end. But which team is going to what team has to pass more?
What team's going to have to pass more? Well, we all know it's going to be Jacksonville's going to have to pass more because Tennessee likes to pound the rock.
Yeah, and the only one that's going to take away targets is going to be Colin Johnson because I have an autograph edition of him and Devin Duvernay. So, although I do love Chenault, by the way. I'm just saying, I love DJ Shark this year.
I think that for me personally, and this is good, like you said, DJ Chark's an automatic pick in round 9, right? We know that. So when you're in round 9 and DJ Chark, so you grab him, I guess, if you have to.
God, can you mute people, Calvin, or is it just him?
It's just him.
God,
I know. He doesn't give me that kind of power.
Haven't you seen it? I've muted myself a few times already. But
I
get where you're coming from. Opportunity is king here, right? Efficiency comes and goes. Like, those numbers were unreal, what Tannehill was putting up with last year. I think you saw like 9 passes per game, and like 3 of them were touchdowns, right? Like, they were just stupid numbers.
It wasn't just opportunity for me because I think that AJ Brown actually has the opportunity as well. My bigger thing is looking at the play calling by Jay Gruden, because Jay Gruden loves his alpha receiver, right? Like, we look at Garcon, we look at AJ Green, we look at all the X receivers that he's had, and although he does fancy the slot from time to time, dude, like, his main producers are his alpha receivers who like to go downfield to get targets. So as long as DJ Chark can continue to progress as a route runner, with the post routes, which I don't even know if that's a progression necessarily. I mean, we're talking about, just targeting him over and over and over and over and over again. And I love it. I love it. I love the situation that he's in. And I still like AJ Brown. So if you want to go AJ Brown, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm with either, but I'll take AJ Shark first.
Okay, well, it's
or DJ Shark.
There, so we're going DJ Shark. No.
So is that the tight end to me?
I believe it's me.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I started with Watson. So my 2 options here are Juju Smith and Jack Doyle. I really want to get the Indianapolis guy out of the way and take Jack Doyle here. But I'm going to go with Juju Smith simply because we need to fill a flex. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be an excellent flex option for us. So I'm going to go with Juju Smith here, and hopefully we go with Jonathan Taylor as our flex.
I love Johnny Smith.
I think he's that breakout. We all talk about Mike Gesicki being that guy or Chris Herndon being that guy. It's Juju Smith. Juju Smith is that guy. Have you seen this dude? This guy is a bully, man. He will beat your ass up and then take you 15, 20 yards down the field on a slant, post pattern, whatever you want to call it. He's going to drag you with him.
They should use him in the running game more, but not as a blocker, as a running back, right? Was it 44 yards, 57 yards? No, I mean, look at the one run. He took the one run that he had the entire year for like 44 yards or 57 yards or 64, whatever the hell it was. He is an absolute monster freak athlete.
Yep.
Just get the ball in his hands.
Yep.
So that basically puts us in a situation here where we're looking at flex and we're looking at Indy for this flex position. And I kind of was hinting towards Jonathan Taylor here. I think Marlon Mack is going to have a bigger role with this team than people are giving it credit for. I do not think this is Jonathan Taylor's backfield, at least for the first 4 or 5 weeks. That said, we have to take a Colt, and I don't trust T.Y. Hilton's soft tissue. I don't trust Paris Campbell. I don't trust anyone else on the Colts. So give me Jonathan Taylor at the flex.
Yeah. Marlon Mack for me, but Jonathan Taylor's right there. Marlon Mack's just safer, and you can pick Jonathan Taylor up later. I don't know.
I will defer to you guys on that because my pick would not be the most popular one, but I think the best running back for the Colts is Nyheim Hines.
Dude, get out of here.
Yeah. And
I'm just kidding. I'm on your podcast. I can't say that.
And I just go back to when Frank Reich, as the head coach, he brought in his offensive coordinator that he had when he was with San Diego back in 2015 and 2016. 2015, Danny Woodhead was the number 3 running back in PPR. And he just loves that type of player. When he was with Philly, it was Darren Sproles. He's now in Indy. You hear a ton of talk about Nyheim Hines. He brought the band back together. You got Phillip Rivers there. I think it does make some sense. Now, the other thing that plays into that for me is I just don't trust that any one of those guys are going to be utilized enough. Frank Reich, in his 6 years of being a play caller or head coach, he's produced one 1,000-yard rusher. It was Marlon Mack a couple weeks ago, and one 1,000-yard receiver. That was T.Y. Hilton a couple years back as well. So in 6 years, that's happened one time. And I get that Jonathan Taylor is immensely talented. I 100% agree. But sometimes these running backs fall into situations that he has to have opportunity. And Marlon Mack isn't being pushed off the field yet. Nyheim Hines is going to play on third down. And I would love to see Jonathan Taylor get the kind of workload that Derrick Henry gets, because I think he would be a monster behind that Indianapolis offensive line. I just don't know how he ends up getting that type of workload. And to me, if him and Marlon Mack are splitting a lot of that early down work, and you've got a quarterback who likes dumping the ball off to a running back, you've got a group of weapons in the wide receivers and tight ends that really don't do a lot for you. Nyheim Hines can get a lot of work done out of the backfield. He's one of my favorite late round guys in PPR leagues to go grab. I think you'll know early if he's going to hit or not, and if he doesn't hit, you can drop him. He doesn't cost you a lot right now, and that's kind of one of my bold predictions for this year. I think he's the best running back in Indy to own.
So Chase, do you think that Kelvin realized that he was on mute the whole time that he was talking?
Yeah, I wanted to sound interested as. I sat there and wanted to sound to him, and I was going to say, so first off, do you realize that you've been muted, at least in my mind? But no, I'm just kidding. But no, so I have 2 things that I want to bring up. First off are you a side of the bed TV person? Is your TV off to the side of your bed?
No,
because I'm looking at your headboard, and I see your TV behind you, and it's off the side. So you lay on your side instead of having it at the foot of your bed?
It's the big spoon, little spoon thing.
What? That's a thing? You have to have it at the foot of your bed, right? Like, does anybody actually do that? Wait, is that 2 TVs?
This is my computer. This is my work. I work from home.
That's a massive computer.
These are it's my computer. It's not my TV. My TV is in front of the bed. I'm not a complete psycho. Just because I picked Nyheim Hines doesn't mean I'm a complete psycho.
That was the first point I wanted to bring up, by the way. So you hit it right on the head that you're a complete psycho. But I thought you were like my great grandmother who used to have the tiny little TV off to the side where you have to lay. Wait, Dingus probably has that. Sorry, probably shouldn't bring up old people at this point. Wait, Dingus.
I just thought Calvin liked playing with a small spoon. That's all I thought.
That's probably true.
Besides the point.
Oh my God!
So,
second thing is doesn't
Go
Jonathan Taylor profile better to Sproles and to Danny Woodhead than Nyheim Hines?
Oh well, I guess explain that because I mean, certainly
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I just okay. Mess with you, man. Right. There was great points made, but I'm still not buying it.
Yeah,
great points though. Great points. I don't have any argument. It's just I don't have an argument.
Is it safe to say we can pretty much skip you on your sleeper, Calvin, and just kind of punch in Nyheim Hines here?
It's Nyheim Hines, yeah. Skip me.
Yeah, we'll skip you. You just went on a whole rant on him there, so we'll give it to Chase here for your sleeper in the AFC South.
So my sleeper in the AFC South could be very, very interesting, just because of the fact that there's so many different opportunities to go with. Is Will Fuller considered a sleeper or no?
If he plays more than 6 games, I guess, yeah.
That would be one of my options. Laviska Shenault's another. Michael Pittman, question mark? No. All right, so if Will Fuller is considered a sleeper, I have to go that route. Outside of that, I'm not taking too many shots outside of Laviska Shenault on sleepers here. I mean, Corey Davis people talk about, but I'm not buying that either. I just like Duke Johnson. If David Johnson can't stay healthy, Duke Johnson's a good sleeper. So let's go with Duke Johnson. Let's take Duke Johnson as my sleeper.
I can't believe you missed an opportunity to pull out your football card.
Colin Johnson, 100%. No, I love Colin Johnson, but he's still got Chris Conley in the way.
I would have gone James Robinson here as well. I've been, like I said, for all the same reasons I would have took him as my running back, but now that seems way too obvious. If I would have known Ogunbowale was a Jaguar before I started this segment and had my other guy kind of picked out in my head, I might have leaned there just because this is the Ogunbowale. He's a fan of the show, even though he's never seen the show. We all support him here. I'm going to actually go to a wide receiver in Indianapolis. I'm going to go with Zach Pascal. If you look at Zach Pascal last year, when Hilton was down, and he is the number 2 wide receiver right now in Indy, he's that guy you're probably on your waivers right now. You could probably pick up, put in your lineup, and he's going to do good things. I know Calvin's looking up some numbers for me right now on Zach Pascal, so I'm going to keep talking until he's got the numbers where he can back me up on it. But he's a guy that can run that underneath route. We know Philip Rivers is going to loves that dink and dunk kind of thing. Pittman will find his success in the end zone because Pittman is a jump ball, contested ball kind of catcher, a big body. T.Y. Hilton, he's already getting soft tissue injuries. We're out of the season hasn't started. We haven't even had a preseason, and he's already got soft tissue. So give me Zach Pascal, who I'm going to pull up here now and give you some numbers on what he was able to do last year. Because for me, in a couple of my leagues, I actually rostered him because I was desperate at times. He came in a big way and was able to produce.
I actually watched him in college. He's from right up the street from me. I like him.
72 targets.
So, yeah.
And I think those 72 targets are part of the reason why people forget this, but the Colts had 2 second-round picks last year. Their first second-round pick was Michael Pittman. They placed a priority on that position and on Michael Pittman over and took the chance that they were going to lose Jonathan Taylor in the process. And Michael, I don't know what Pittman has been able to do here in camp. There hasn't been a ton of reports. I hope that he gets a chance to fit into that role. If he can't beat out Pascal, Hilton is certainly not going to be the guy that's going to command a ton of targets, even though he probably will do a good bit with them. There's going to be some left over for Pascal if he keeps Pittman off the field.
Pascal had 41 catches, almost 72 targets, 5 of which were touchdowns. So he was getting it done in the red zone last year. And yeah, he was
target share. I'll take or touchdown share. I'll take that.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive numbers there. So if you're looking for these, like I said, we're going deep here. We're looking for sleepers here. We're trying to help you guys that are paying attention find someone out there that you can possibly trade for on the cheap or find on your waivers right now, especially with week 1 starting tomorrow night.
I can't get behind Pascal though. Like I know that's a deep reach, and I watched him in college. I was a fan of him in college. I just don't know how much they're going to pass in Indianapolis. Like it's going to be
a dink and dunk.
Yeah. That's and Pascal's more of an outside type receiver, so I don't know. I feel like you're getting a Tyrell Williams type, although they're not the same skill set, but Tyrell Williams type player over there. When you pick up Pascal, so maybe it's a week to week type streaming situation.
Okay, we're going to move on now to the AFC West.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm going to start at running back.
I can't hear either one of you guys right now.
I'm going to start with the AFC West running back because I don't think there's any debate over the quarterback position here, right? I don't think anyone's going to object to Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Derek Carr, Drew Lock, or Tyrod Taylor is the answer. So
speak for yourself.
We're going to put Mahomes in there right now. And I'm going to go with the running back because I can. And I'm going to take the running back who already has produced 1,150 yards on the ground. Going into his second season, we're talking about 1,150 yards and missing time last year, right? Josh Jacobs. He's my pick at running back. I don't care. Melvin Gordon's in the timeshare with Lindsey. Lindsey's going to win that job in Denver when it's all said and done. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't care. See what I did there? 3 rhymes in a row. That's the kind of hard-hitting analysis we do on this show.
Wait, who liked Eckler?
No one likes Eckler.
Oh, I thought you did. My bad.
Actually, I do like Eckler more than Melvin Gordon, but I'm going with Josh Jacobs here because
no argument.
I think he may not get the PPR numbers as an Eckler in the passing game. Melvin Gordon won't get those because those will be Phillip Lindsay's or Royce Freeman's. We talked about Royce Freeman being a big pass-catching back in Denver the last couple seasons. I think he was top 10, in receptions last year amongst running backs. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now. If Josh Jacobs increases his catches at all, you're talking about a running back who could lead the league in rushing yards because Derrick Henry did it with 1,300 last year. Josh Jacobs had 1,150, and I think he missed 2 or 3 games. So give me Josh Jacobs at the running back position. And
do you like more Josh Jacobs or Miles Sanders?
I like Josh Jacobs more.
I got Miles Sanders was slightly above that. I mean, but the injury kind of hinders that now, so I might be safer going with Josh Jacobs, but it's very close. It's a hair.
If you put Miles Sanders ahead of him, I'm not going to berate you on anything. I think, like you said, I think they're pretty close. Recently, I've got Josh Jacobs actually above. Ready for this? Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon this year, as far even in PPR. Same. So when we did my redraft, and this was difficult for me because you know me, I love Joe Mixon, and everyone loves Chubb because it's just the Kareem Hunt aspect kind of scares me on Chubb a little bit. So I picked at the turn at 12. I went Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders at the turn and left Chubb and Mixon on the board.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I'm on board with what you're saying. No objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's right. So like I said, the numbers support Josh Jacobs and what he's able to do. If he can stay healthy, like he played 13 games, had 1,150 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns. Those 7 touchdowns led all rookies amongst running backs in touchdowns on the ground, and those 1,150 obviously led all rookies in rushing.
I pretty much support most of the things you say, like 99.9. You know, I draw the line on, when you start shitting on people. And then,
it's going to be done. Sometimes you got to take the odd dump just to bring people down, right? You keep it straight. Sometimes you got to flush some of the bad stuff, right? You got to flush it down and forget about it. It's like a goldfish.
Oh God, we should have a segment. Who you shitting on now?
So now I'm going to make it difficult here. I'm going to switch things up here, and I'm going to give Chase the wide receiver. I'm going to make things difficult on Calvin here. I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to Chase the wide receiver.
I gotta go wide receiver. God, man. All right, so I'm not a Keenan Allen fan. I don't hate him. I just got let down by him too many times, so I'm like off that. I don't like Tyreek Hill because of his volatility. Over the past 2 seasons, he's only produced double-digit fantasy points in 50% of the 50% of the time. The Denver wide receiver core is extremely crowded, and the Las Vegas Raiders have a bunch of rookies. So I don't know how you made this easy and gave him the hard time while you have Travis Kelce and nobody else to pick from. So I am going to go with Cortland Sutton by a hair over Henry Ruggs. Cortland Sutton can prove that he can make contested catches. He's not volatile whatsoever, and he should remain the main target, which Drew Lock has chemistry with. So I like Cortland Sutton, especially his draft value, but I'm not taking Tyreek Hill any time before the 5th round. So, yeah, you guys can screw off.
Selfishly, I was kind of hoping you'd take Tyreek Hill so he couldn't take Kelce at the tight end position, which would have made things interesting there between Font and Henry and Waller as options. So you could have made it a little difficult for him there.
As Mecole Hardman progresses, I can't buy into Tyreek Hill. Like, he's been the only guy on that offense outside of Travis Kelce. And now you have Mecole Hardman who's competing with him and who's, fun competing, not like, negative competing, but fun competing with him and learning from him and getting better each week and earning rave reviews in camp. So he could take away from Tyreek Hill's target percentage, which wasn't great in the first place, and, be one of those deep threats. And it's great for Patrick Mahomes, but I just don't love it.
So I want to challenge you. This offer came in. This one guy, he thinks he's a contender this year. I'm kind of, my roster here is kind of, It's kind of, I'll pull up my roster here. It's not the greatest. One of those rosters that you waited too long to sell your players. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of stuck with a bunch of crap. He's offered for Tyreek Hill, Phillip Lindsay, N'Keal Harry, and a 2021 first.
Oh, yeah. I do it just for the 2021 first. Wait, where is the 21 first? Because that's the biggest issue. People forget to place the narrative.
Yeah.
Right? Because
say if everything rolls accordingly, I'm going to say it's in the 106 to 108 range.
That makes it a little bit tougher, but I mean, honestly, it's not really
two teams
close.
that are head and shoulders above everyone else. Like, my roster is a bubble roster. It made the playoffs. It finished, lost out in the semifinals, right? So,
wait, this is your roster?
I'm trading away Tyreek Hill.
This is your roster, though.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you said this was a buddy's roster. You said a buddy offered you a trade. My fault. I apologize. Sorry for the bad radio, guys. Your roster's probably going to finish in like the bottom 3, if I had to guess. So I'm going to definitely take that trade. No, I'm just kidding. No, to be honest with you, I don't like Tyreek Hill at all. They can cut him and move on from him, saving multi-million dollars. Like, I think it's like $13 million next year. The year after that, they can move on from him, save like $18 million. So no, I do not like Tyreek Hill in the least. Get rid of him while you can.
So here's just for comparison here. You see that on the screen?
Can you zoom in?
Yeah, zoom in.
I don't want to zoom in. You're lucky I got this on the screen to begin with.
Are you using a PC or a Mac?
I don't even know what a full screen layout is. Anyway, because I'm not as old as you guys, I can actually read that. We got Chris Carson, Gus Edwards, Frank Gore, Gurley, Justice Hill, McCoy, Jerick McKinnon, David Montgomery, Ogden Bawale, and James Robinson, because I'm such, where I'm at. And at wide receiver, it's Keenan Allen, John Brown, Damian Bird, Brian Edwards, Josh Gordon, because Josh Gordon is on every single one of my teams, Tyreek Hill, Darnell Mooney, Emmanuel Sanders, Auden Tate, Trent Taylor, Greg Ward. So there's definitely some high end, there's some top talent, but it's drops off pretty quick. So it's one of those rosters that if it gets on a streak there, you get the right combination, it could win. It's a 2 QB league. That's why I got a bunch of quarterbacks up there. So
I like that the name is Dingleberries. Am I reading that right?
yes, you are. Dingleberry is, well, basically a shit with hair, right? So
that's right. Gotta go with our theme. I don't like that trade for you. I actually for all the talk about Tyreek Hill's volatility, I mean, one of the things that you're getting out of him is you're almost certainly getting double-digit PPR points from him. He only failed to reach that one time last year. 3 times. The other 2 times that he didn't do it, he played 6 snaps and 12 snaps. He got hurt. The only other time he played full game and got less than double-digit PPR points. That was in the divisional round. So in a regular season, it didn't happen. He got double-digit points every single time he played a full game and didn't get hurt. I don't know why the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes in a championship window, presumably still going on, why they would get rid of their most dynamic playmaker. I think Tyreek Hill he's got a floor that you're going to get double-digit fantasy points, and he's got a ceiling that could be 33, 34, 35 points, and he can win you some weeks. So I don't think what you're getting back in return has anything anywhere near that level of ceiling. And I'm not sure with that roster that you're completely rebuilding either. So I'm not sure if you wanted to go into a rebuild, I'm not sure that's the offer I'd be wanting to take.
Well, my old saying is here, it's grit off Talladega Nights. If you ain't first, you're last, right? If you're right in the middle of the pack, you're going nowhere. So you might as well start rebuilding if you're in the middle of the pack, or at least retooling. So it's always something to process there. The champ is the champ. He's got a solid roster. He's going to be tough to knock down in any way, shape, or form there. I like Cortland Sutton here. I think Cortland Sutton is definitely a target hog in Denver. I think he's a safe bet there. We saw what he could do last year, even with Drew Lock, who is not one of my favorite quarterbacks by any stretch of anyone's imagination.
Hey, don't forget, the key to this division is Drew Lock. Don't forget that. Remember that.
Where's that mute button?
He's the key.
Chase just looks like he wants to take his shirt off right now. He's in deep thought of something.
And he is muted. Did you mute him, or did he mute himself?
He muted himself.
Okay.
I haven't muted anyone.
Oh, is he? All right. I am so confused here. I don't get it. Because you have 2 weeks where you finish with more than 100 receiving yards. Well, you're okay with 10.1? You're okay with 10.3?
As a floor,
cool
yeah.
With that?
There's a lot.
No, it's not floor. It's floor is 4.1.
Well, he got hurt. I mean, certainly that's a risk.
I guess. Dude, okay, so he got hurt, and then he didn't play. No, Tyreek Hill is out.
He played 12 snaps.
Tyreek Hill is out.
Okay, so we're Chase, who are you using a tight end here?
There you go.
Who are we on?
Tight end.
Sorry.
No, who's got tight end here? You just did quarterback, or you just did receiver. Calvin's got the quarterback.
It's Kelsey. He's either the number 1 or number 2 tight end, just depending on what you believe in George Kittle. He's maybe the top option in the passing game here, maybe number 2. Maybe it depends on how you feel about Tyreek Hill. But yeah, Kelsey is the obvious choice. I have another tight end who is my favorite in the division, but I like Kelsey.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite's Noah Fant, and it's because of of digging into Pat Shurmur and the tight ends that have been in his offenses. That's part of what I love. And seriously, if you geek out at all about athletic profile tight ends like me, you go pull up Noah Fant. It's unreal what he is able to provide. He's got a lot of talent, got a lot of ability, and look. Depending on how the targets get distributed, I mean, he could be right up there with any of those. You look at Evan Ingram was maybe the most targeted person last year with the Giants, with Pat Shurmur there. It's possible that could be Noah Fant this year.
You know whose profile I should geek out on, right? Is Aquabunum. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. I just wanted to throw it out there. But Albert L, Aquabunum, oh man, his profile is pretty sick. I don't know what team he plays for. I don't really know. I remember playing with Drew Lock at one point in time, and I don't know where he is now.
That's where he's in Denver. He's in Denver.
Oh, is he really? He's in Denver? No way.
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
wait, and that athletic profile, he ran he's definitely the top 10, but I want to say he's like top 3 for 40 times.
4.49, 40, which at 6'6", 258, that's insane.
I'm just saying, athletic profiles. I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
It is cool.
I'm just giving you a hard time, man. We can't base everything off athletic profiles, obviously.
No,
and no offense, a lot of his yards came from messed up broken tackles. Like it was improper tackles. I want to say that it was like 38% of his yards yards as a whole came on 5 receptions. Those 3 of those 5 receptions came on terrible tackles. I did this research back 4 months ago, so I can't remember, 5 months ago. But those receptions came on just blown tackles that were terrible. I know one came against the Browns where the guy tried to shoulder tackle him without wrapping up, ended up messing up, and he got 70 yards on one play or something like that. So anyways, when you go back and you look at a lot of his plays, it could be slightly elevated. So people are just a little bit too soon on Noah Fant. However, if you're in dynasty leagues, one of my buddies, Aaron Yakel, I think, said too early is always the perfect time. So if you're in dynasty leagues, go get Noah Fant now, because if not, by 2021, you're going to be overpaying for him.
And you know what? I've always been a firm believer, and I'd rather overpay for someone who's proven something than overpay for someone who's done nothing, right? That's the other option out there that people will pay a premium. Like, say you pay what you feel is fair for Fant, and he never turns out.
Yeah,
that I can't live with, right? That is tougher for me to swallow than me paying a premium on someone who's already done it, right? A second or third-year player.
You have to keep in mind, too, like some teams are rebuilding, right? Like not everybody's in contention. And I think a lot of fantasy podcasts mess that up. And you don't have to go win every year. I think that people, and this is one of my pet peeves, I think that people bullshit by saying you have to win every year. You have to be a competitor every year. You have to go and try and win for the championship every year. That's not always the best case. I understand people are only in 1, 2, or 3 leagues, but if you go for the championship every single year, you run yourself dry on the trades that you make trying to win when you're not capable of winning. Realize your own fantasy value. Realize what you can accomplish this year. And be realistic. Like if you're kind of all over the place, go reevaluate your team and rebuild it the right way. Take time to trade away the guys that are 28, 29, 30 years old. And rebuild that team and take chances on guys like Noah Fant, who I'm not a believer in. However, Calvin is. So if you're a believer in that player, go grab that guy. And go build your team, with him while trading away some of your assets. You don't have to win every trade to win every trade. Build your team better. Make your team better.
Yeah,
making your team better.
But part of what I like about it is
you guys are so cute.
Part of I love the cost. I don't think he's too expensive right now. He's going off the board as the 12th tight end. It's a pick in the hundreds. He's going behind Jared Cook, Austin Hooper, Rob Gronkowski, according to Fantasy Pros ADP here. He's a guy that you can be the last person in your 12-team league to pick a tight end, and you can get Noah Fant.
Yeah, I still don't like him this year.
I gotta get a tight end before that happens.
I like Jonas Smith way more.
Flex position, we have to go to the Los Angeles.
Oh shit! I didn't realize we were on flex. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm trying to speed things up. Calvin keeps talking. Actually, just muted him. We need to take a charger here in the flex position. We're looking at Eckler or probably Keenan Allen. I would lean PPR, probably Eckler in this area.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, Eckler.
So brings us to our favorite segment here of the whole breakdown is your sleepers in the AFC West. And I'll let Chase go because I have a funny feeling where he's going to go with this sleeper pick. So we'll see if he actually stays on brand or not.
I'm losing slight brand, but yeah, no, Joe Reed is still my pick here. I love Joe Reed. KJ Hamler is another guy that I'm definitely looking at, so don't get me wrong. But Joe Reed, I mean, dude, there's plenty of opportunity. Mike Williams is hurt. I did drop finally Joe Reed in the Scott Fish Bowl, which hurt. It hurts. But hey, dude, I got James Robinson. James Robinson for him. So now I like Joe Reed a lot. Joe Reed's my go-to guy, but he might need a couple years to develop and find his role here. And Mike Williams was not the receiver that I wanted to see going out. In order to make this happen, I wanted to see Keenan Allen out. Are you really making your chair creak while I'm talking? Because it's been happening this whole damn episode. Have you just noticed it now? Did you just now notice that?
I probably should grease it up here. But yeah, Joe Reed, absolutely. I like KJ Hill a little bit more, but that's just me. We've had this discussion a few times.
Yeah, right? We don't need to discuss it again.
No, we don't, because we know KJ Hill's the answer.
No love for Jalen Guyton, huh?
He is right now penciled in as the third option.
The distraction receiver? The guy that's never going to actually get the balls? No. Tyrod Taylor's too safe of a quarterback. He's not going to be going deep to Guyton. He's a distraction.
I don't think we see KJ Hill or Joe Reed really come out until Justin Herbert steps in.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. Joe Reed's my investment. He's my dynasty guy. I don't have a lot of faith in him this year, but he's my dynasty guy.
Who do you got, Calvin?
KJ Hamler is the guy that jumped out to me a bunch when I was doing my research here. The pick of him surprised a lot of people, but again, just Pat Shermer runs a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. So when he's healthy, I think he'll be on the field a lot. And we kind of went over that last time, so I'll just leave it there at KJ Hamler.
Yeah, I like KJ Hamler as the pick there for the sleeper.
Those are both great. Those are both great picks. The obvious answer is Hunter Renfrow, because everyone stopped talking about him again because he's not as sexy as the other guys there, and Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards. But I'm going to go away from that easy pick. I'm going to go.
He's not even the starter.
Oh, he is. He is.
It's Ruggs. You got Edwards and you got Tyrell Williams. Who's playing the outside?
Williams is out, man.
Williams is out on the IR.
Oh shit.
Yeah, torn label.
Dude, I don't have time to keep up with these freaking injury things, man. It's pissing me off. I put something on Facebook. If anybody's listening, on Twitter, if anybody is listening, anybody at all, and they have a live feed of up-to-date injuries, please tag me in it. Up to date, I'm talking about minute to minute. I'm not talking about stuff from the beginning of August or September. I need stuff that is minute to minute updates that I can just follow because I missed out on 90% of them. I'm too busy doing research. Please tag me.
He's only been out for about a week and a half, so easy.
Once it surpasses that, man, it's tough for me to follow up because I've already passed that article. I've already passed.
Well, the original thought was he was going to try and play through it, very similar to the Jalen Reagor injury. He was going to try and play through it and this and that, and then they just shut him down altogether. Probably because Brian Edwards is a better receiver. So they're going to have Ruggs, Edwards, and Renfrow as their 3 wide receivers with Darren Waller.
Oh, that sucks. Because I thought that Tyrell Williams would be the deep threat, and then Ruggs would play the slot. Fuck me.
No. They're going to have their deep threat in Ruggs. They're going to have Edwards as their intermediate, and they'll have Renfrow underneath.
I just spilled whiskey all over my laptop.
Ruggs out of the slot would be like a cheat code. I really would like to see that.
I thought that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, there are a lot of mouths to feed there with the Raiders all of a sudden, though. I mean, they really went out and invested in making sure that they bring in a lot of talent. And I was just looking. I mean, Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Nelson Aguilar is going to play some kind of role. Jason Witten, Foster Moreau. You got a bunch of running backs.
What did you say about Aguilar?
That can catch the ball. There's a lot of people.
Okay, now I know you're full of it. You just use Aguilar and catching the ball in the same sentence.
Yeah, no, that's
Is he going to get targets? He's going to get targets this year.
I'll never forget the game. I'll never forget the game that he had 10 receptions for 13 yards last year for the Eagles. And the 3 receptions he did not have were wide open drops for a touchdown. Like, it was 3 guaranteed touchdowns. So it's very similar to Fuller. But Fuller's better.
That Raiders offense is looking better than it was last year.
Oh, God, Derek Carr's a buy.
Derek Carr is absolutely a buy in every way, and no matter what kind of league you're playing in, whether it's 4 points for a touchdown, 6 points for a touchdown, it don't matter. Derek Carr is going to crack the top 12 amongst quarterbacks this year. And if I can't take Renfro as a sleeper because people know who he is, Josh Kelly is the Melvin Gordon to Austin Eckler.
Yeah, he's perfect pick. I love Kelly. People that are dropping him getting scared that Eckler's going to take the snaps or Justin Jackson's. No, he's the perfect compliment. Like, he's going to get work. He's a safe flex pick after week 1. After we see him.
No, Melvin Gordon's departure did not increase or decrease Austin Eckler's value or his touches. Josh Kelly will beat out Justin Jackson, who I think is actually hurt right now, and he will get those touches that Melvin Gordon's vacating. So when we take a look at what we've got here, because I want to try and wrap this up here, and I want to get to our 5 points. AFC East, let's just forget about that. Josh Allen, Le'Veon Bell, Preston Williams, Gesicki, Harry, definitely not a powerhouse. I would take Jackson, Mixon, Juju, Andrews, and Chubb over them any day of the week. And then on the flip side, we've got Watson, Henry, Chark, Jonas Smith, and Jonathan Taylor against Mahomes, Jacobs, Sutton, Kelsey, Eckler. I'll take the AFC West in that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it gets interesting here. You compare the North to the West. You got Jackson versus Mahomes. You've got Mixon versus Jacobs.
Mixon.
You got Chark. See, I've got it Mahomes, I got it Jacobs for myself. You got Chark versus Sutton. You know which way I'm leaning on this one.
Which one?
Kelsey.
Wait, which way?
Chark. I'm going Sutton over Chark.
I got Chark.
Yeah, me too.
Too many targets to go to in Denver.
You got Kelsey and you.
No, you can't have.
Sorry, Juju or Sutton. I got. Sutton
Wait. What is Calvin saying?
No. You can't have Chark because he's AFC South. So yeah, it's.
Yeah, I know. I was correcting myself.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sutton and Juju. I got Sutton over Juju.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sutton.
I'll go Juju.
Ooh, that's close. That's really close.
Kelsey and Andrews.
Kelsey.
Eckler or Chubb.
Chubb. Yeah. Come on, really?
No, I know.
Draft.
I'm telling you, the Hunt extension hurt my soul. He's
still going to get work. His rushing productivity did not decrease, and Stefanski's going to end up intensifying that. So,
I thank you. I really needed that intervention tonight. I appreciate that.
It's just like, I like Chubb. I still like Chubb. So, God, man, I really like the North. I think.
See,
although I like Sutton.
I got a 3-2 for the West. And I got the advantage at – actually, I got a 4. Sorry, I got a 4-1.
How's Mahomes over Jackson. Schedule? Look at the schedule, though, for the North, right? Aren't they facing the NFC East?
Yeah, but they got to face the North, too. I think that's tough. We got to play Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Dude, they're not if you go back and you look at the schedule, they're not hindered by facing each other. It's kind of weird. Like Baker Mayfield even. Go look at Baker Mayfield's stats up against Baltimore. He's putting up over 20 points a game.
The West is facing the NFC South.
That's another good point. God.
Yeah, but that is kind of a reason why I'm a little hesitant on Josh Jacobs this year too, because there's some really good run defenses in the NFC South.
Do either one beat the NFC East? That's the question. Even if the NFC East is undefeated, like in my opinion, like there's nobody to compare.
Remind me.
Well, let's take a look at this. Let's talk about this. Dak versus Mahomes.
Mahomes was slightly.
Jacobs and Barkley.
Barkley by far.
McLaurin and Sutton.
In the schedule, Oh, can we give a tie?
I'm telling you, this is going to go to the AFC West. I'm telling you right now, this is going to go to the AFC West.
Can we give a tie?
I trust McLaren will have more targets.
Not with that schedule, man. That schedule is brutal for the starting tight end. I mean, for the starting wide receiver. Sorry.
I'm going to go Sutton on this one.
Sutton might actually be up slight on mine, like
okay,
like 9.1 to 9 type thing. You know, like it's so close.
Right now, you got a 2-1 for the AFC West. Ertz or Kelsey?
Kelsey,
You
but
got it?
yeah, Kelsey.
3-1 now. 3-1.
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Eckler or Elliott? It's got to be Elliott, right?
Elliott.
Yeah.
But that's by a massive amount. Again, twice by a massive amount. Twice. 2 different times by massive amounts. With the other one, it was like by like 0.1. Like the biggest gap that the AFC West had was the quarterback position, which was still Dak Prescott to Patrick Mahomes, which it's gonna be close, especially with the NFC or the NFC East division. Like they suck in the secondary.
And the only advantage you're really giving the NFC East is that running back.
It really just comes down to how you feel about McLaren versus Sutton. That's the one.
That's the tiebreaker.
But
right there.
You're talking about Barkley over Josh Jacobs, right? You're talking about Zeke over who was it? Austin Eckler?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a massive. That's.
Is it though?
Oh yeah. You're talking about like, oh my god. You're talking about gigantic percentages.
It's bigger. It's bigger than the difference between the other positions. I think you're right. And I said I like Terry McLaurin. So for me, I got it 3-2 NFC East.
Can we do a trade? Can you read that out again as a trade? Like if we're going to send the trade over? And which trade would you accept? Like, can you just read it as a trade?
Yeah,
real quick.
That's a great point, Chase. That's a great point. You're 100%.
Let's read it as a trade.
So you guys want to talk about the gap between Elliott and Eckler last year. One averaged like 20.48. The other averaged 19.81. In one of my leagues in my scoring. I think it's only half point or a full point PPR. The gap between Eckler and Elliott is not that great. The gap.
But if we're going to go last year,
actually,
then Dak over Mahomes if you're going last year.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about the gap between Dak and Mahomes?
Well, we can go points per game.
But 5 points per game is a lot.
It wasn't 5 points. It's not even a full point.
Oh, I think you said 5 points per game. Sorry. My bad. Stepping out. Exit left. But Barkley wasn't healthy. Like, and it's a whole different situation for Zeke.
Jacobs wasn't healthy either.
It's a whole different situation for Zeke.
Oh, it's like 0.26 points per game difference between Dak and Mahomes. Basically the same.
And the rest of them aren't that far off either. So I think it's a lot closer than people think. I don't get me wrong. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I think
let's present it in a trade case scenario.
Well, where I think it really gets interesting is if you expand this again, just like the NFC South was probably better than the East when you expand it and go like 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs. I think the AFC West is also better than the NFC East when you expand that roster as well.
The NFC East was just top heavy. The NFC East was not a good division last year. I mean, their team should not have probably made it into the playoffs, but they did because of league scoring. So, by the way, what do you guys think about the new league scoring, or the new league playoffs with only one team getting a bye?
I'm okay with it.
More games, right?
But let's try and wrap this up, Kelvin. Hit us with 5 things.
Okay, I'll do
this
really quickly then. So here's 5 more things that I'm looking for this season. Obviously, we did the first 5 on Monday. I'm going to be looking at Atlanta. I'm going to be looking to see, does Hayden Hurst pull an Austin Hooper, and does he cut into the breakout for Calvin Ridley. I mentioned it a ton of times last season. Austin Hooper is the reason why we didn't notice that Calvin Ridley was as good and why we couldn't really trust him in our fantasy lineups. When Mohamed Sanu went out, that helped open up things. And when Hooper signed in Cleveland, that seemed to open up where, hey, this is going to be Calvin Ridley's breakout. The trade for Hayden Hurst, that complicates things a little bit. Now, Hayden Hurst has got an interesting history. We don't really have time to go into all of that. I lean towards, I think Calvin Ridley has a real opportunity to break out this season, but I'm going to be watching to see what their targets look like and where they are when it comes to the Falcons this Sunday.
Okay, what do you got for number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to be looking at, and again, this is digging a little bit deeper on things that I'm going to be digging into, but I want to look into where does Adam Thielen take most of his snaps with Minnesota. They went out, they got Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson obviously had a great season. We're going to talk a little bit about LSU. Sorry, Dingus. But he had a great season, mostly operating out of the slot, and that is where Adam Thielen has spent most of his time. Justin Jefferson the year before, totally different offense, I get it, but he did not look like the same wide receiver operating from the outside. So how do they mix him in? How do him and Thielen operate together? It complicates it a little bit with Irv Smith and where he's going to play and how he's going to factor into the offense as well. But that is not just snaps, but where those snaps are in Minnesota are something I'm going to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing because Jefferson did not look good when he had to play wide. But when he was probably the best slot receiver in college football last year. Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, that's where they make their hay in the National Football League. Yeah, Adam Thielen, I don't think he's an outside guy right now either, especially at this point in his career. I don't think he's got that ability to separate. They got Obese Johnson there. He's still kicking around. But, yeah, this is going to be an interesting thing in how they're going to use these guys because I don't see Thielen or Jefferson finding success if they're not playing out of that slot.
You know, Vikings have a tendency to draft the best player available versus, what they need. And the Eagles passed on Justin Jefferson because they already had the mid-range targets guys. Available. No, because Jalen Reagor's terrible. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not a Jalen Reagor guy. Button? No, so anyways, they passed on Justin Jefferson because of the fact that they already have the mid-range guys. They already have Eckler. They already have – I'm sorry, Eckler. I said Eckler. They already have Ertz. They already have Goddard. So those are both mid-range guys. And Justin Jefferson plays in the same range. Meanwhile, the Vikings ended up going with Justin Jefferson, which was a little bit curious because they already have those guys. However, Thielen's getting older, contracts coming, running out. So I'm kind of interested on how they use him. I'm a little nervous that they use him in the wrong way and try and stick him in the Stephon Diggs role. So, like somebody asked me earlier, who do I have higher, Mecole Hardman or Justin Jefferson? And I have Mecole Hardman higher than Jefferson after landing in Minnesota.
What do you got for number 3?
Number 3, I'm going to be paying attention to the snap counts and the touch percentages in the Steelers' backfield. And this is maybe a little bit more complicated one, but this goes back to something that I started tracking back before the 2019 season. The Steelers have traditionally been a backfield that, under Mike Tomlin, there's been a bell cow running back. And that's been a lot of the talk here recently. He's been saying, James Conner's my bell cow. He's my bell cow. 2019 didn't really look like that on paper. Now, how much of that was the knee for James Conner and how much of that actually represents a little bit of a shift in their philosophy? And James Conner mentioned it a few times before 2019 in interviews that he expected with all the running backs that they're drafting, and they continue to do that this offseason, he's expecting to have to share the load. In those same comments where he mentions that James Conner is the bell cow running back, you also heard him talk about the role that some of these other running backs can play. So how much of what Mike Tomlin is saying is coach speak, and on which direction? Is it James Conner is going to get the most touches, but is he going to be that 70-75% snap share guy? Or is he going to be more like a 60% snap share guy? Which, again, that's really good. That's not a bad thing. 60% is good. But where does that fall, and how much of that is there a difference in philosophy the way it looked last year, or was that just James Conner's injury?
I like to think that's more James Conner's injury. I think Mike Tomlin is pound that ball. Let's get it down there. James Conner's our guy. I believe Tomlin when he says this, because that has been Steelers football for the last 70 years, whatever it is, right? They've always had that guy that they could count on. Last year was different. Conner was banged up. Snell, they gave Snell a shot. He didn't do much with it. Samuels came in. They gave him a shot. Nothing really happened. James Conner is the cog in that wheel that gets that offense going, with the exception maybe Ben Roethlisberger, right? With Ben Roethlisberger out of that lineup, they took a big hit because you're trusting Mason Rudolph and Devlin Hodges to run an offense. You know where those guys are right now? One got replaced by a rocket scientist, and the other is now the third string, right? So
Snell did have a couple good weeks, by the way. But, yeah, no, a player's coach, which is what Tomlin is, I mean, he speaks the truth because he wants his players to believe in what he's saying. So, of course, he's going to run out James Conner with everything that he's left, whether he has anything left in the tank or not. So, week one, yeah, you got to run out. You got to run out James Conner.
Number 4.
Yeah, and I fully expect him to be the guy that's going to carry the load there and be certainly the most valuable running back. It's more that what's the truth when what he says, or the player moves that they start to make, and what you see in their snap counts week to week. That's what I'm going to be watching to see when they can't lie to us.
If this is redraft, it's 100%. This is redraft. It's 100% all in James Conner for the first few weeks.
Ready, Colin? Ready? Number 4.
Okay, so number 4, I'm going to go with, this is just a little bit of a soap opera thing, but I really want to see Le'Veon Bell on the sidelines in New York and just see if there are any fireworks that have continued from training camp. Adam Gase, to me, is the most frustrating coach in the NFL. When you start looking back, Chase, I hope you do an Adam Gase deep dive, because it was so frustrating to me watching him take some of his best players and just playing with their snap percentages week to week, playing with how many touches that they were getting. He did it consistently. He brought in Frank Gore, who he loves. And I just want to see if Le'Veon Bell is not getting the work and the run that he wants to get. Can we get some fireworks on the sidelines here in week 1? Is that what's going to be leading SportsCenter? Is the shots of Le'Veon Bell on the sideline, frustrated with Adam Gase?
Well, Frank Gore isn't glue yet, right? When you have an old horse, you're ready to put him down, he becomes glue. Frank Gore ain't ready to be put down yet, so I think he's definitely going to be a thorn in Le'Veon Bell's side as far as snap counts go this year. We watched Frank Gore do this in Miami with Gase previously. Frank Gore is probably the one guy that Gase actually trusts and uses and doesn't mess around with, right? He will plug Frank Gore in there, and that's going to really damper Le'Veon Bell going forward. And I think that's going to be a problem in that Jets locker room, because Le'Veon Bell is very vocal when he's unhappy, to say the least.
All right, so here's the deal with Adam Gase and his run scheme, right? Which is why Kenyon Drake didn't succeed. He runs a scheme that needs players to be patient to find the gap. So when you're watching training camp, he's being,
And here's a good point. Who is more patient than Frank Gore? He was there when the seas split in the Bible, right? He's the only player in the NFL that was around for that.
Oh, I get what you're doing here. All right, so No, I mean, to be honest with you, like it's not what you're trying to find. Like Le'Veon Bell's getting criticized year after year in Pittsburgh in preseason and training camp, saying he's overweight, he's not moving as fast, blah, blah, blah. They're running the same exact system. So, of course, you're not going to end up seeing Le'Veon Bell explode through the offensive line because you have to wait and be patient behind the zone power scheme, I guess, that they run. Not sure if that's the right one, but the system that Le'Veon Bell is behind, you have to wait and be patient, and you have to dance beyond the offensive line up until you find that crease and you go. It's not a one cut and go system. However, in training camp, that's what you get to see because players don't break tackles beyond the offensive line. Like players don't do that kind of stuff. Once you get wrapped up, you're done. They're trying to save people from getting injured. So with Le'Veon Bell, who's great at dancing behind the offensive line to find the crease. Same thing with Aaron Jones. Same thing with Kenyon Drake. It just takes time. And honestly, it scares me a little bit with Adam Gase, who obviously failed with Kenyon Drake. But it could end up working out with Le'Veon Bell if he gets the lion's share of the carries. My concern is that he doesn't.
Well, first off, Le'Veon Bell has abs on top of abs. Have you seen the dude with his
really
shirt off? Like he's almost as good. He almost makes it look as good as Chase does without his shirt off.
It's kind of funny how I get criticized for going shirtless on a podcast, but people awe, in fact, of Le'Veon Bell and his abs. It just makes no sense to me. I mean, it makes no sense. Why is it so inappropriate for me to go shirtless on a podcast? I don't get it.
I know it's tough. It's tough. And you said it, Le'Veon Bell. He is probably the most patient runner around that we've seen in a long time. What he did in Pittsburgh, he would sit there and he'd wait for those holes to open, and then he would hit them.
Same system.
That's the same system. That's why it's so frustrating with Gase and how he's going to use him this year because Le'Veon Bell is basically what Gase really does want. That's the thing.
Exactly. Yes. I'll be quiet now.
But he can't get out of his own way. But that is the Adam Gase thing. Is like it doesn't matter if he builds the right guys, but right team, puts the right guys there. He cannot get out of his own way. And I don't know behind the scenes. Like I'm hoping we hear like some more details. But like, why does everyone that leaves him have more success somewhere else? Like,
it's not.
Why when
like Jarvis Landry didn't?
Jarvis Landry he's the number one wide receiver in Cleveland. He was pretty good last year.
Yeah, but he had a better career in Miami overall.
Yeah, he might have caught more passes.
Number 5.
Anyway, Adam Gase sucks. I don't think that's a controversial take.
Hey, talk to Troy, by the way, about Adam Gase. Troy loves Adam Gase.
Number 5.
Does he really?
He loves Adam Gase.
Well, the number 5 most important thing is this weekend when this blows up and we get Dingus to over 2,000 followers. The podcast that we're going to do next week, when he has to take his shirt off, lay down on the couch, and his wife waxes his chest in front of all of his kids on the podcast for everyone to see. That is the 5th most important thing I'm watching for. How many followers does Dingus get?
We should have introduced that, by the way. God, he's going to edit that out, isn't he? He's going to edit it out. There's no way this makes it live. I mean, there's no way this makes it live.
Recording 12 minutes ago. We are still considerably short. We're at 16:54.
Oh my God, we have to make this happen. We have to.
Yeah, we got to be there. No doubt.
What do I have to do? How much do I have to donate to charity to make this happen? I'm broke, but I'm interested in making sure that this happens. I'm down.
And with that, we are at 2 hours.
You're
and
not
14
alone.
minutes.
We cut it short this week.
Yeah.
Well, we just basically got a 5-hour special broken into 2 hours with us here, right? We did a Monday, we did a Wednesday. So we got everything covered.
I think you just need to break it up into like 5 episodes, to be honest with you.
By the division, I think. I think by the division.
We spent like 40 minutes on the AFC East. and that was not ideal.
No, we were only at 33 at that point or something. I think
40,
it was 33.
40 minutes on the AFC. Yeah, no, that killed us. That was a killer right off the get-go.
This is my 5th freaking podcast today, so I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah, you're doing pretty
You're
good.
champ.
It's 11 o'clock my time here, so it's midnight.
Good job.
I think for you guys.
What time is it? No, it's 1 a.m.
How's that dog doing?
It's 1 a.m. He's upstairs. He left me.
He's already in bed. He's probably got the door locked on you now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to sleep on the couch.
I got mine. Where is he?
Yeah, no, we can see him without you moving it. See him every time. He's a good dog, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's still alive, I swear. Yeah, he's still alive.
Thank you guys for having me on once again. Love you guys.
Always fun.
All right, we're, like I said, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Anyone got anything to plug that they didn't plug on Monday? Chase, how you doing? You got one more? You got that filled up for that league?
I need one more, but I mean, honestly, it's tough. So I have a league going on, guys, where I'm teaching kids with special needs how to play, and I'm sure at 2 hours and 15 minutes, you guys are still listening. But if you have a chance to talk to anybody with special needs, we have less than 24 hours left. We would like to have kids with special needs to come play with us. So if you know anybody, please reach out. We're going to be having Monday meetups. We're going to have plenty of opportunity to discuss. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys know anybody with special needs that would like to play fantasy football, please reach out. One more person.
Right. One more is all we need, not two. For Calvin and Hobby, for Fantasy Football Intervention, Chase Vernon, I'm Dingus4, Matt Dolly, and we gone. I really should pay attention to where the actual end broadcast button is when I say that, eh?